we have the guys on BookBuzz in studio to give us a rundown on the latest business bestsellers. And this morning, Ron Immink, Chief Executive of BookBuzz, is with us. And today we're looking at the Thank You Economy.
Good morning, Ian.
By Gary Vaynerchuk.
Gary Vaynerchuk. His claim to fame is that he wrote a book he has a company called the Wine Library, which is Library TV. And then he wrote a book about it, which is what Americans always do. And the book is called Crush It, which is about passion and social media, where he basically tells his own story. It's very similar to the 4-Hour Workweek by a guy called Tim Ferriss. Now, if you watch Gary on TV, he's very difficult to watch. So it's very, very American. And I was absolutely adamant that I was going to hate this book. But then I started reading it, and it's very, very good.
Yeah, he says a customer relationship is everything, and social media is the only way to do things on scale in the future. The best way is to build a local village shop online. That's his premise.
It's a passionate plea for social media. And what he just basically says is that companies should ignore social media at their peril. Now, my dad is a barber in a small village in Holland, and my granddad was a barber, and he explained sort of the feel of the old village shop, where everybody knew each other, where there were generations of people owning that shop, and every reputation was everything. And he says social media can be used to do that online. Now, if you look at the Irish situation, did you know that 40% of Irish companies do not have a website?
That's staggering. I mean, the internet has been around for nearly 20 years.
Isn't that scary? That is a really scary, and that's...
But are many of these local small corner shops that really don't have any need for a website?
Well, so Gary would argue that everybody needs some type of website, let alone having this is about customer interaction and developing a customer's relationship, a deep customer relationship.
What's more important, customers or staff? I mean, people have to say, you've got to keep your staff motivated. They will go.
No, I'm so glad you asked that question, Ian. What do you think?
Well, I would say staff. If your staff are motivated, they'll go out and be the front of the company.
So what he says, happy staff is happy customers. And he takes an approach which is called result-only work environment. You take your staff serious. If your staff is happy, your clients will be happy. And what he says, and this is where it becomes very interesting, is that culture is your new marketing. Because if you have a brand that wants to be authentic, the only way to communicate authenticity is through your staff. So it's absolutely crucial that the culture is spot on. So what he would suggest is that you spend your marketing budget on staff. Fire the marketeer, focus on staff, and make them happy, make them passionate about your company, and that will resonate with your customers.
Does he give any examples of that, of companies, or does he look at his own experience?
Well, this is what, yes, he refers to his own experience, which gets a bit tedious after a while. He refers to Zappo, as we all do by now. He talks about a local dentist that what they wanted to create was the ideal customer experience, and they use social media to communicate that, and it has been proven to be very successful. What he says is that you should allocate at least 5% of your marketing budget to social media. You should create a social media department within the company, not a customer service department, a social media department.
Doesn't that seem quite small, 5%, given huge...
Well, he's marketeers don't get
marketing budgets would need more than 5%.
The issue is with the marketeers, and I've worked with quite a lot of them. They still have serious difficulties with sort of grasping social media. And this is where it got interesting. He says that you should allocate a personal marketing budget to every individual within the company of about €200 and let them spend it and see what happens.
What is emotional ROI? What is that? That's some sort of new metric now that people are monitoring company performance.
Marketeers have a tendency to focus on quantity, and he says you should focus on quality. And so the way you calculate return on investment, lifetime loyalty value is not something we calculate, but if you have a very happy customer, that is worth a lot. The story at a kitchen table, somebody telling about your company and how fantastic they are, it's unmeasurable, but it's very, very powerful. And he talks about earned media, and it only needs one. So he tells a story about a company that helped one customer, and that person started to blog about in the media, and had a connection with Newsweek. The article appeared on Newsweek, and suddenly you have somebody giving you testimonials, which is valued way beyond you could ever imagine. And he said you should focus a lot more on that.
Are his views applicable, or is his premise applicable to most companies, or is it purely those that are dealing with consumers?
No, to every. He says, and to business B2C, there's always a customer in between, and there's always a person in between, and that person needs to like your company.
So do you just fake a backstory for your company? Do you make up the culture, or does he say you have to have authentic stories?
Social media will make you transparent. You know the stories about the pizza company where people did some unspeakable things with the pizza and put it on YouTube. That's huge damage to. So if it's not authentic, if the staff don't love your product or your company, it's going to be near impossible to maintain the reputation within social media.
Now, many people are going on holidays at the moment. Do they want to take a couple of books away with them for the summer to perhaps read up on their business? What would you recommend? Is this something you would take away for your business reading?
You know the book we discussed last week?
I do. Little Things.
Little Bets.
Little Bets. I do.
That's definitely one I would bring. If you remember, Alan talked about delivering happiness.
Yes.
That's a nice book to bring. And the Thank You Economy is a nice book. They're very light, not too heavy. Those would be the 3 books I would bring.
Well, have a look at that. I'm going away myself. I may even take that copy of your one with me.
You can. Enjoy yourself.
Ron Immink, thank you very much for joining.